My time has finally come.
Chess, a game that has existed for many centuries and pretty much anybody can play. Chess pieces and the boards have changed over the centuries, but one thing has remained the same. It's a game of strategy. When it comes to the world of video games, there is one series that stands out, the Chessmaster series. Starting in 1986, the series received new entries up until 2009 across multiple platforms. Most of these were released on the PC. Home consoles and handheld consoles received their fair share as well. So, without further ado, let's take a look. Well, I think a change of scenery is in order. Here we are. That's better. Now let's...
Hold on! You can't do this without me.
Who are you again?
Why, I am the Chessmaster.
No, you're that strange old man who likes those cookies. I remember from last time.
Well, yes, but you did not allow me to introduce myself, for I am the Chessmaster, and don't think for a second you can do this without me.
Fine, just sit down.
Good. Also, you would not happen to have any of those cookies, would you?
No, so don't ask. Like I was saying, let's start at the beginning.
A very good place to start.
Please don't do that again.
Very well.
So, just for the PC, there were 13 games released. The very first was even released for the Apple II, the Amstrad CPC, and the Amiga, just to name a few. Let's take a look. The first game in the series released in 1986, the Chessmaster 2000.
Hey, what about 1000?
Actually, there was not a Chessmaster 1000. This is where the numbering actually started.
Oh, I see.
Anyway, the user interface of the game is fairly straightforward. It can be played in the default 2D mode or in a 3D mode. Like most of the releases, it is possible to play against the computer, another person, or just let it play itself.
Of course. You know I will win.
If you say so. One notable thing is that this was all done on a single 5¼ floppy disk. Future releases would come on floppy disk and 3.5" discs, then eventually even on CD-ROM. As for the next release, it is more of what could be considered an update to the game, the Chessmaster 2100.
Of course! The first game was already perfect. Why mess with success?
In some ways, this is true with this version. Besides having a title screen, the menu system introduced here is basically the same that will be used throughout the later releases.
Told you!
This version also added the options to change the board colors and backgrounds. For the first time, the computer, or Chessmaster, will speak. But this is better left off.
Hey, why would you say that?
Just listen to the sound clip.
You got me. Oh.
Finally, one new feature that is present in most of the games is a teaching mode.
Why not? Everyone should be able to learn to play chess.
It is probably one of the reasons that these games were considered some of the best chess games ever made. Next, we come to the Chessmaster 3000. Again, this time, it did not change all that much from the previous games.
Like I've already said, if it isn't broken, why fix it?
Sure, that is true, though this game does have some new features. One being that it has a guide function. Another new addition is that the computer will even suggest moves either verbally or show them.
It does not mean that I will go easy on my opponents.
If you say so. Next we come to an interesting point in the Chessmaster series.
How so?
Well, besides some new improvements to the game and keeping the same interface and general layout, the next several games will not run on anything higher than Windows 98.
How is that a bad thing?
It can be a bad thing, since if people want to play this on a modern PC, chances are there may not be enough interest to bring these onto online platforms such as Steam.
Everyone should be able to play them if they want.
Of course. Now, back to the topic at hand, I'm going to put the next two together since they are both basically the same. The Chessmaster 4000 and the Chessmaster 4000 Turbo.
How can you say that they are the same? Each is beautiful and different.
Well, the only real difference is 4000 was made for Windows 95, while Turbo was made for Windows 98.
I see. Please continue.
Alright, overall, The interface may not have changed, but it does have several new 2D and 3D boards to choose from. Along with a lot of new and interesting chess pieces, it even sports a new feature that many games still have.
Let me guess. It comes with a new hat.
What?
Nothing.
Okay, well, this time around, there are selectable difficulty levels. There are even options that are good for people new to the world of chess. Another thing to note is the graphical improvements with each new game.
Naturally.
Next becomes the Chessmaster 5000, this release being notable since it is the series' 10th anniversary.
10 years, 11 more until I can drink, and 8 until I can vote.
Seriously? You look a lot older than that.
No comment.
Well, while using a similar interface, this is the first game that has options at the beginning to introduce new players and veterans, while also a graphical update.
Is there anything else?
Yes, one strange feature that is missing is that there is no digitized voice, considering that this was released on CD-ROM.
Well, I had laryngitis, and I was unable to do it.
Okay, moving on. After this point is when the series takes a huge left turn.
Hopefully not off a cliff.
Hardly. Well, it will not run on anything higher than Windows 98. The Chessmaster 5500 is more than just a simple upgrade, especially considering that several of the new features will continue on until later releases.
So get to the point. What makes this version so different?
The very first thing is that this one has an intro video before the program loads. On top of that is the first to be associated with a real-life champion chess player, Josh Waitzkin.
Never heard of him.
I'm Josh Waitzkin. When I was 6 years old, I discovered chess in Washington Square Park.
Really? He speaks highly of you.
Where the Chessmaster is never at a loss for words. His tremendous teaching ability is in rhythm with a human approach to the game, and takes into account the psychological processes of the student.
Oh, that Josh Waitzkin.
Yes, well, besides that, this game brings back the spoken dialogue even in the menus. However, the boards available this time are mainly the same as in previous versions, but the player can customize the board and even make it look like the original game.
Yes, nostalgia is a very beautiful thing, is it not?
Sure, this version maintains the teaching modes, selectable difficulties. There is even an option to create your own tournaments. For the first time as well, there is an online component.
Which I would always win.
You're not very humble, are you?
Yes, I am quite hungry. Did you find those cookies yet?
Alright, moving on. Here's the Chessmaster 6000. While this release didn't make any major updates, it did feature some minor improvements.
Such as?
I'm getting to that. One of the more notable is a slider that allows the players to adjust how the computer will play, such as they'll try to take your pieces or defend their own. Strength of play, and even a slider for randomness.
Interesting. So you're saying that a player can basically make the computer play almost any way they want?
Sure, that is how it seems to work, but it doesn't always mean the computer will go easy on you.
Good, because I wouldn't want to make it too easy.
Finally, an interesting change is that the online mode is moved to an external program that is installed alongside the main game.
You mean it is not part of the main game?
No, it uses a program called MPlayer to achieve this, though it does not matter since there is probably no one playing it anyway.
Oh well, that is just the way it is.
Now for the last few PC releases I will cover, it should be mentioned that they were all developed and published by Ubisoft.
Why is that important?
Just in that while the games improved graphically and they added new boards and pieces, they kept the same basic interface, gameplay, and features.
So they are basically all the same?
Sure, but each one is still worth checking out on their own.
Very well, let's begin.
First is, of course, the Chessmaster 7000, which it was made for Windows 95-98. It will run on a 32-bit version of Windows.
32 what? Speak English, man. I don't know about the audience watching this, but I am already lost.
Fine, it'll run either on Windows XP or Windows 7.
Thank you.
Okay, back on topic. When the games load, there is a menu that has several options. These all do feature online play as well. While I'm not cover all of them in great detail, I should mention what the different features are.
Well then, what are they?
Well, there is an option called the Kids Room that features several different chess-themed games. The tournament area is self-explanatory, the most important being the game room.
Really? Why?
That is where you play the game of chess as you would in any other game.
Makes sense. Anything else?
Then there's the library and classroom.
School? Reading? What kind of game is this?
No, the classroom is where it will show you how to play the game, explain everything in great detail, such as how the individual pieces move and even some advanced moves.
Okay, but do I still have to read a lot?
No.
Good!
For the next couple, it would be best to talk about them together.
Really? Which ones?
That would be the Chessmaster 8000 and 9000.
Why lump them all together?
The main reason is that each of these releases are basically the same. They both have the exact same UI, and the in-game content is the same. Just like the previous iterations, there are different boards and pieces to choose from. Now for the 10th edition, this is where the series was finally given a new look, with a more modern looking interface, with many different chessboards and pieces available. For the first time as well, there are boards where the chess pieces are animated. While there are only 3 available, it does make for a more dynamic experience. This in turn allows for more customization and adds a lot of variety. There is even a special 3D mode, which may not add much, but it is there.
3D? Isn't the game already in 3D?
No, I meant you wear the provided red and blue glasses, it makes it look like it is coming off the screen.
Amazing. What will they think of next?
How about 3D without the need for glasses?
Shh, that's crazy. That'll never happen.
Yeah, but...
Will never happen.
Okay then, moving on. Well, the last game released for the PC is the Chessmaster Grandmaster Edition. And the one interesting thing is the rebranding for this one.
Rebranding?
Well, on all the releases except for this one and the 10th edition, the Chessmaster character was actually removed from the packaging.
I can't believe it!
See for yourself.
What? Wait until they hear from my lawyer.
For what?
Removing me from my own game?
Well, no. The Chessmaster character is still there, he just has less prominence.
Well, as long as I am still there, I guess I can let it slide.
And the one thing to say is that if for anybody who wants to play these games, this is probably the best version to try to track down.
Why is that?
Simply because this is the culmination of all the previous releases.
So what does it have then?
I'm glad you asked. Let's start with the intro cinematic. While fairly simple and straightforward, it does a good job of setting the tone for the rest of the experience. The user interface is fairly simple as compared to the previous releases. As with previous titles, it has a full tutorial on how to play, how each piece moves, which makes it accessible for novices all the way to chess veterans.
The rook moves horizontally along ranks or vertically along files.
Again, like other versions, there are different chessboards and pieces that can be selected, a few that are even animated. Including one based on the Rabbids. The only downside is that there is no in-game music and no speech. Considering that this is the penultimate release of the series, it is a very well-made game.
So is that all of them?
It should be mentioned that there is one more game for the PC.
Why are you only mentioning it now?
Mainly, with a quick internet search, you can play it. It is just a light version of the main game. It is just more of a curiosity than anything else. Now, the games were not just limited to the PC. There were several releases for consoles and handheld systems over the years.
Okay, what are these consoles?
Well, there were versions released for the NES, SNES, Game Boy, Game Gear, PlayStation 1 and 2, DS, Xbox, and even the PSP.
Are you going to show them, or should we look them up ourselves?
Sure, most of them are fairly interesting. Let's take the NES version first. It has the most simple design, good music, and is easy to control, but no digitized speech. I would actually say it is better than the next iteration.
Really? Why?
You'll see.
We shall indeed.
Here is the Super Nintendo version. Graphically, it looks fine. It plays the same sound when each move is made, which can get annoying. Also, there is no in-game music.
It's not that bad.
Well, it does get worse.
How?
Well, the Super Famicom version is essentially the same, but the music never stops.
Ouch. I see what you mean.
While on the subject of the 16-bit era, a version was even released for the Sega Genesis. However, it was not a physical release. It was only playable on the Sega channel. Fortunately, the ROM was saved and was made available in these reproduction cartridges so that people can actually play it on original hardware. One thing to notice right away is that it has better music than the Super Nintendo version. While in-game there is no music, however, it does play this pleasing sound whenever a move is made. For the 16-bit era, this is probably the best one that was released. Unfortunately, it was on a platform that very few had access to, so most people most likely missed this one. Now, the versions for the Game Boy are actually really well-made games. Considering the small screen, the graphics are nice, there's digitized speech in both the original and Game Boy Color versions, though there is really no difference between the two. Either version is worth checking out. Now, for the Game Boy Advance, it is more like the PC versions, with good graphics, but unfortunately no digitized speech or music. It does have tutorials and extra game modes. Of the three versions, if you only choose one, this is probably the best one.
What about the Game Gear?
Well, for the time, it
Welcome
was a good
to the
version.
Chessmaster.
It had some nice graphics and
White,
digitized speech on the little
black.
screen.
Looks good. What's next?
Well, there were 2 games released for the PlayStation 1 and one for the PlayStation 2.
Was I on the cover of any of these?
Yes, prominently on the PlayStation 1 titles and just a small picture of you looking over a chessboard on the PlayStation 2.
Well, at least I'm there.
So first off is the Chessmaster 3D, or as it says on the title screen, just the Chessmaster. This one is a bit odd in that neither of them support the thumbsticks and are forced to use the control pad. Overall, it does look nice graphically speaking. However, your opponent is just this large portrait. The music presented is this 90s techno style, which really does not fit.
Well, it is what it is.
The second title release is called the Chessmaster 2 for some reason.
Clearly a sequel.
The second title release on the PlayStation is presented in this isometric 3D view. Graphically, I would say it's actually superior to the other. It still uses the same awkward controls. However, the music fits this one much better. So I would say if you were looking for a version to play on the PlayStation, this one is definitely worth playing.
Bishop takes b4.
Now the PlayStation 2 version starts with this overly dramatic cinematic. It's let down with a fairly generic title sequence. As for the game itself, as with the previous versions, there are several game modes available, including the ability to play online. As for the main mode, the interface is similar to past releases. It still has digitized speech and some good music.
F takes
Once
e5.
again, it is another example of a game worth playing.
E takes d6.
That can't be it.
No, there are more versions. There was a version released on the DS and PSP, but getting footage of those is a little more difficult.
Can you at least say how they will be played? Are they worth people's time?
Well, thanks to YouTube, other people have captured the footage, so I can at least show some of the gameplay here. To start with, these are based on the Grandmaster Edition, which is the latest version released. Both of them are very similar. However, the PSP version, while on a single screen, has no in-game music or sound effects. While the DS version, while having 2 screens, has in-game music and sound effects. So, based on that, the DS version is probably the best version to play. Though in general, the gameplay is the exact same. Regardless, if you're looking for a version to play on the go, either version is worth playing.
That is all of them, right?
Actually, there is one more for the original Xbox. In essence, it is just a port of the Chessmaster 10th edition.
Is that a bad thing?
No, of course not. The intro sequence for this one fits the game well. Interestingly, as with the previous versions, it is simply called Chessmaster. The option screen is similar to previous releases as well. There are options for playing the game as well as learning how to play for new players. Since this is the penultimate release for the series, it is a well-made game. Like its PC
D4.
counterpart, it is worth tracking down. Unfortunately, it is not backwards compatible,
G3.
so you would need the original Xbox console to play it. A few things of note outside of the main chess games is the puzzle area, where it presents chess-themed puzzles. The Chess Academy, which has tutorials for new to advanced players. And of course, it was also playable on Xbox Live, where of course, you could have played against other people. Though, for those that are curious, or if you like the game of chess, it could be worth giving it a look.
I guess that is all of them.
Well, actually, there is one more. Released for Xbox Live Arcade in 2008, there's Chessmaster Live, which is based off the previous Chessmaster Edition game. It is unfortunately no longer playable since it has been removed from Xbox Live, which is a shame because it definitely looks like it was a very well-made game.
How will people play chess now?
Chess games themselves are really not gone. There are still dozens of other titles, and they will even release a chess game for the PlayStation 4.
What? Then why are they not talking about them?
Simply because then this episode would be way too long.
Very well. So when will we do this again?
What? Another video about video game chess?
Exactly. Then we will see who is superior.
If you say so. Well, until then, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.
Until we meet again.
Whew, good. He's finally gone.
I heard that!
So, in conclusion, as you can see, from its humble beginnings in 1986 and up until its final release in 2007, the Chessmaster series continuously evolved from its humble beginnings on a 5¼ inch floppy disk all the way up to a DVD-ROM. While we haven't seen a new Chessmaster game in many years, the series does deserve to come back and remember what it was. A series that was accessible for all players, from novices all the way to masters, and everybody in between. Though it's hard to say if we will see a new release. However, that's where we'll leave it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.